Visiting with Huell Howser is made possible through a generous grant from the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation.
Well, hello everybody. Here we are on yet another adventure, and you know, over the years we have traveled to some unbelievably fascinating places all over Southern California, but I think today is just about going to take the cake. We have come to the little community of Westminster here in Orange County, and we're on a quiet little residential street here. We have come to visit Ralph Velez and his family, and they live on a corner that is absolutely amazing. Look at that. I have never seen as many palm trees in my life, but that's the way it should be because Mr. Velez is known as the Palm Tree Man. We're going to meet him. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm Huell Howser. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. Very good to meet you.
Who are these people with you?
This is my wife of 43 years.
Hello, Huell Howser. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
This is Nilda, and this is my middle son, Steve.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Great, thank you.
Well, you know why we're here, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Palm trees.
Palm trees, right.
You are known as Mr. Palm Tree in Southern California. How did all of this start?
Well, we bought the house in 1962, and I moved to California because I wanted the subtropical climate and the subtropical ambience. And when I started landscaping, this was wall-to-wall dirt. And I started planting tropicals and palms and ferns and philodendrons, and tropical fruit trees and avocados and the Chinese fruit trees. And
but you quickly kind of started specializing in palm trees.
I became very early interested in rainforests.
Oh boy! Way
back in 1962, 64, where you could hardly find anything on rainforests, and it wasn't even talked about in the newspapers or magazines very much at that time. And I guess around 1966, well, all during that time I would go to nurseries and always look for something that would catch my eye that I would like.
And you started planting them around the yard. Now, did you help him on these projects?
Not really.
What did you do? Just offer your moral support?
Well, sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And I kept quiet when he ran the visa card.
Oh, when you would go out and buy the palm trees.
Mm-hmm. She helped in that way. Yeah.
She allowed you to do that.
She allowed me to do it. Right.
And you helped too.
I did, and most of these palms actually were not planted big. They were tiny little seedlings, so the visa card wasn't maxed out at all on these little blades of grass that we planted.
Oh,
so
really? Sure.
Everything you see was planted small.
I got you.
And they kind of...
Don't we have a picture of you?
We do.
In front of
Where is that? Oh, there it is. It's on the table.
It's over there.
I'll run and get it.
And where did you start?
Well,
can you remember what you first planted?
Oh, these two Mexican fan palms were planted as a 1-gallon plant.
Look at these. Now, these are pretty tall up.
They got to be maybe 70 feet high.
Uh-huh.
They were 1 gallon, cost me 70 cents.
Now, are these, Steve, are these the... This is you right here, right, Steve?
And these are the two trees over here.
So there you are, Steve, and they're the two trees that now tower up over us.
Yep. They sure do.
That is amazing. I didn't know that palm trees grew that quickly.
Yeah, the Mexican fan palm is the fastest in California.
Ah.
Yeah. It's called Washingtonia robusta, named after our first president, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Robusta, I guess, because it really is a robust tree. The seeds will germinate in vacant lots and cracks along the sidewalk, just everywhere. Yeah. So it really is a robust tree.
Where should we start? Because I think the first thing we need to do is to let everybody know that this, what we're getting ready to see, because this is not just an average collection of palm trees.
No, it's not.
How many different palm trees do you have in your yard?
I probably have in the ground in excess of 320 different varieties of palms in the ground.
Different varieties?
Different varieties, right.
There's that many?
Well, there's close to 2,000 varieties worldwide, all over the world. And last September we went to not a nursery, it's an establishment. It's like a little mini Disneyland in Thailand. And he wants to have 2,000 varieties of palms growing there by the year 2000, and he's getting close to it, yeah. He's really enthusiastic.
Well,
Yeah.
now I'm just looking. Is this a palm right here? I've never seen anything like
This
this.
is a palm. This is from Thailand, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
And actually, this is really very borderline for California.
Because I've never seen anything like
Yeah,
this.
it's very unique.
How big would this get?
Well, it could get, you know, 30, 40 feet in the tropics. Here in California, it's just very slow. I think it just grows maybe 2 or 3 leaves a year.
What's this called?
That's Borasodendron marchadonis.
Oh boy, now I'm never going to be able
Yeah,
to remember
a
all
lot,
of
a lot of these don't have common names. A lot of these don't have common
Now
names.
this I've seen. This is just a fan palm.
That's a fan palm native to Florida. Right.
Now how can you tell the difference between native to Florida and native to California?
Oh,
We really don't have, but
actually, we only have one fan palm native to California. It's called the California fan palm.
are they the ones that were found in the oases out in the desert?
Right, out in the desert. That's the only one that's
Do you
native.
have one of those here?
No.
Oh.
No. It gets to be very large in the trunk. And I did have one at one time where my greenhouse used to be. But when I put my greenhouse in, I took it out.
Now what have we got down here? I don't know where to start.
Well, actually, at one time, this was a normal looking yard. I mean, I had lawn, I had some shade trees and a few palms here and there. And I just gradually encroached on the lawn, and then the trees got larger and larger, and it started shading the grass. So the grass had to go, and it's just been a very, I mean, I started planting in '62, and I'm still planting today.
Well,
so
I don't
it's
know. You
every
don't
year.
have much room left.
No,
Look at this one.
Yeah, that's a fern. That's
Well-
the
well, now,
a
does
fern
that-
from New Zealand.
Does that classify as a palm?
No. It's a different family.
Okay, so this is just a beautiful big fern you've
that's
got.
a fern.
Look at this.
Dixonia antarctica.
And look at this interesting trunk with
Right.
are these
Yeah.
flowers?
Those are bromeliads.
They're what?
Bromeliads and tillandsias. This is a tillandsia, this is a bromeliad.
I can tell
And
I'm going to
these-
have trouble with all
These
these.
are air plants. They don't need to be in the ground. They usually grow in the rainforest on the branches of trees.
What are these?
That's Ligularia.
Which means,
I don't know the common name.
but I mean, are these,
it's just,
where are they from?
I don't know that one. I can tell you more about the palms.
Oh, okay. So we're just, what I'm doing is I'm going to the wrong things. I'm going to all these ferns.
Yeah, well, you're a fern person.
But look at these. These are beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that's a fern.
It feels almost like an evergreen.
Yeah.
Or it
Actually,
looks-
it's not a true fern. They call it the asparagus fern, but it gets little berries on it, so true ferns don't get fruit.
All right, well, let's look at palms.
Okay.
Because now these out here are what?
Now, this is native to Mexico. I planted this palm in 1967 as a 1 gallon. It must have been about that large. And so it's what, 33 years old, something like that. It hasn't flowered yet. This tall palm is native to Brazil.
This one right here.
I'm sorry, Paraguay, yes.
This one right here is
Yes.
from Paraguay.
Paraguay, right.
And
And here's a royal palm that's native to the Caribbean, Florida, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola,
so
etc.
they're palms in all the warm areas of the world, aren't they?
Generally speaking, yes.
Now
There's
look at
one
this.
palm-
Isn't this beautiful?
Yes,
Again,
it's
I'm
beautiful.
getting away from the
Yeah,
palm, but
well, that's fine. I don't have just only palms. I like all kinds of tropicals.
you've mixed all of this in together.
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate. As a matter of fact, over here was all grass at one time, and in the front there was all grass in the parkway, and there was a Brazilian pepper tree in the front, which was a dirty, messy tree, and it wasn't attractive at all. So I cut it down and dragged it over to the side of the house, 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And my wife comes out, and she becomes hysterical. She thinks they're gonna come and lock me up and throw the key away. Of course, that's a city tree. And so
That's
I said,
the city tree
yeah,
at
all,
Westminster.
the parkway. All the parkways belong to the city.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, what does the city think about this?
Well, this is it. Eventually the city came around, and I had a few palms planted in the parkway, and we talked a little bit, and then I got them to agree to let me plant palms throughout the circle and in the parkway. So I took off because in the front of my property there's just not enough room.
now what is this? Is this a palm?
That's a rubber tree.
A rubber tree.
Rubber tree. It's in the ficus family. It's a rubber tree.
Oh, Where is that native? Where
Oh,
is
it's native to the tropics.
Is this?
That's a cycad. That's Zamia furfuricea. So there's all kinds of tropical things here.
Look at this. And the climate of Orange County
Right.
is of the same sort that these would have been used to growing up in.
A lot of them, yes. They're, for example, this climate is classified as Mediterranean, but there are a number of palms and other plants that are subtropical, Mediterranean, like South Africa, South America, along Chile, Bolivia.
They can do well here.
They do beautifully
Is this a
here.
banana tree?
No, this is a bird of paradise. This is from South Africa.
Look at this. And what is this? This looks almost
That's the
like bamboo.
It's a bamboo palm.
Now, where is that from? I've
this
never
is-
seen a bamboo palm before.
Yeah, this is native to Costa Rica.
Wow.
Costa Rica
this is-
prefers the shade.
Now, if I wanted to grow something like this in my yard,
Sure.
could we do that? Or is it, does it take some kind of special green palm thumb like you've developed?
No, well, you know, the success is really talking with people, reading about it, a lot of trial and error. For example, I got a hold of a triangle palm, which is native to Madagascar, way back in '67. Well, there wasn't any literature on how to
Yeah.
grow this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I happened to get it, didn't know anything about it. Well, I planted it in the front yard where there was a lot of shade, and I tend to water a lot. And this poor palm lingered on for maybe 5 years, looking very weak and not vigorous at all. Eventually it died. And then I went to visit a friend in Long Beach. And there he had this triangle palm in full sun. I said, how often do you water? He said, when I think about it, maybe once
Yeah.
every 3 weeks he waters. So it turned out to be drought tolerant, loves full sunlight.
You were doing all
and
the
I was
wrong
doing
things.
just the wrong thing, just the opposite.
I just looked over here at this.
That's
Look at this, Louis.
fantastic,
This
yeah.
is beautiful. What is this? And there's
Again,
some-
this is in the rubber tree family. It's in the ficus family. It's called Denanarops roxburghii.
Wait a minute. I bet you can't say that 5 times.
Denanarops roxburghii times 5.
Wow. Look.
I first saw this at the San Diego Zoo, and it really caught my eye. And I was looking for it throughout all the nurseries. I used to go to nurseries a lot. I found one, but it's very rare. And
leaves
you
have
just can't
such
find
an
them.
interesting
Oh, yeah.
feel to them.
Yeah, it's just incredible. The
And
size of the
all
leaf.
back in here, Louis, look at all of this. It's just, there's one of your bird of paradise.
There's another
up
bird of
there. It's a
paradise.
white one up there.
Right? Yeah, this whole trunk is bird of paradise.
This is just spectacular. You got everything out here, but wait a minute. Look at this. Look at the trunk on this thing.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a palm native to Madagascar.
It's big at the bottom
And, it's,
then-
starting to sucker.
and then just goes right on up
Yeah, there's a little sucker over
to
here.
the top up there.
Yeah.
Madagascar.
Right.
You've
That's
got
this one right here.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
But
Now
what
thi-
about this one?
that
This is
one,
the one we were looking at. Because
yeah,
look at
that's,
the
yeah,
at the.
that's the. It's in the Dracaena family,
Uh-huh.
or the yucca type family.
Ah, it does look
Yeah.
kind of like a
Yes.
yucca, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's in that family, and it's very drought tolerant. It stores a lot of water in the base over there. And I can remember one of my sons, I had this in a pot, knocked it over, and he got so upset because he thought he killed it, and he was, you know, Daddy, Daddy, I'm sorry, you know. So eventually I put it over here. This was in a box at one time.
Now, how expensive are these? Because your wife earlier had talked about how she lets you use your Visa card on.
Actually, the most expensive plant I ever purchased, she doesn't know this, but she'll probably find out now. It's a very rare mottled leaf liquala from Southeast Asia. I paid $125 for it.
But that's not that much.
And that's not that much money, but it's a small little plant. That's the most expensive plant I ever bought.
Yeah.
So, as my other son said, you know, these were all small. I mean, that was a 70-cent plant.
Wait a minute, look at this, Louis. This one right here with this big trunk.
The one that goes up 70 feet. That cost me 70 cents. It was 1 gallon.
Wow. I'd always thought that palm trees grew more slowly than that.
Well, a lot of them, I could show you a palm that's 33 years old and it's maybe a foot taller than you are. So,
Where is that?
well, over here.
So
this,
it grows.
This is pretty slow. I mean,
It
that's
gr-
33 years old, and
Right here, this
Yeah,
one.
this-
Just this little
no,
one
no,
right.
no. This one here.
This is
This-
33 years
And
old?
see that trunk right there?
Yeah.
That's the mother one. That's the tallest one. And actually, when I planted it, I didn't know it had suckers. These are called suckers or side shoots. I thought it was a single trunk plant. And for some reason, it started to push itself. I planted it over here, and it pushed itself way over there.
So this has been growing only for 33 years.
33 years.
See,
From a
I
one
don't have
gallon.
time to plant a tree like that
Oh,
in
no,
my
no,
yard. I
no.
got to get one of these
People,
fast-growing
people
ones.
today want to have them big. And this other palm is native to the Caribbean. Now that it's getting more light, it's beginning to grow faster. I had this in a lot of shade and didn't grow too fast, but now I took away a shade tree. It's picking up, but that was planted in '67.
And
as a
look
1
at
gallon.
this. What is this?
That's the triangle palm that I was telling you about.
Look at this, Louis.
Yeah.
Look at this trunk.
They call that the triangle because it
it's a
has three
triangle.
three flat sides.
Oh, look. Look, Louis, over here. There's another side just like it. And then there's another
And
side.
then on the back side. So if you were to take a saw and cut straight across and look down, you'd see a triangle.
Wow. Where is that from?
This is from Madagascar. And this one, I said, I lost maybe 7 years because I didn't have it in the right location.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Well, as beautiful as this is outside, and this is just a paradise here, walking through here.
Here are
This
some
is
ferns that are attached to the trunks of palms. just
right
like-
here.
Yeah,
This is a, oh boy, look at this.
that's a platycerium. And in the rainforest, they grow on the branches and trunks of trees.
Well, as beautiful as all this is, we have just seen a small part of your collection because we're getting ready to go inside through your house and out onto your, what do you call it? Because there's really not much room back there either.
Well, it's a backyard patio.
Backyard patio.
And behind the garage is a 2-story greenhouse, about 20 feet by 30 feet that I heat in the winter. So in the greenhouse, I grow the tropicals that I can't grow
Let's
outside.
go, let's go. I want to show everybody. This is, you got to see this to believe it.
Okay. We're going into the backyard.
You got a 2-story greenhouse
So,
there.
yeah, it's about 18 feet high at the high end.
Okay, can we go in?
Sure, by all means.
Because I have no idea what we're getting into. There are none of those plants in here that reach out and grab you, are there?
No, not that guy. Well, there is one, yes.
Well, be sure and point that one out to
We'll
us.
point that out. It's the rattan palm,
Yeah.
which does grab you. It throws out a sticker.
Now,
It's-
what is this?
That's a philodendron. It's a climbing plant that climbs up the trunks of trees.
More of these amazing leaves.
Oh, beautiful.
So many interesting. Now, wait a minute. What's this?
That's the flower of the palm tree.
I've never seen that color before.
Right. Last year, it got fruit, and the fruit was just brilliant red. Beautiful, beautiful tree.
What's back here? Now, it's getting wet back here.
Well, I have misters that go on throughout the day. And
Look at this wonderful-
This is an ornamental banana tree.
Look at this wonderful water.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
Now,
dripping
I've
off
turned
here.
the misters off so we don't get wet, but it comes on, as I said, about 6 times a day. Keeps the humidity high.
And what have you got? Oh, you got fish and a waterfall and
Oh, yeah.
the whole thing going over here.
Uh-huh. Now, this was a trunk of a tree fern that had nothing on it. And
Right here.
Right here. And I just left it there. And just with the ferns that are in the greenhouse, all those little plants are volunteers.
They just came out
They
of nowhere.
just came out. And the ones that are on the wall, those are all volunteers. They just started on their own.
So it sounds like if you have the right kind of humidity
Right, sure.
and enough water, these things pretty well grow on their own, don't they?
Yes. Oh, one time I
Oh,
went to...
look at this.
Oh, yes.
Look
Beautiful.
at the size. What
size.
is this?
Well, there's no common name.
Look at the size of this,
botanical
Louis.
name is a killer.
Can you move that around a little bit for us? I'm afraid I'm going to tear it up if I pull it down.
Well, let's see.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
The colors on it.
Yeah, there it is.
Don't break it off.
Well, it's okay. It's going to be coming off pretty soon.
Is it dying?
Yeah, as it gets older, it takes on the, you know, the dying look. Here's another leaf that's just opening up.
Oh, whoa, oh, look at this leaf. It's so beautiful. It's, when the sun hits it,
Yeah,
it's just, I'm gonna pull this down so we can take a look.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's an incredible
Look at that
looking
leaf.
palm. See, there's no way I could grow that outside.
What do you mean?
Well, it's very tropical. If I try to grow it outside, it would die.
Now, what have you got in here?
Oh, this is my
Watch
potting
your
bench
step, Louis.
area.
This is a little wet.
A little wet. Yeah, I do my potting up here and my small little palms and ferns, and it's just wall-to-wall plants.
Now, will this grow up to be?
This is like a ginger, and I got the seed of this in Hawaii, and it's growing okay.
Where's a little? Oh, look at this one.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
What?
This is an alocasia.
What is this weird little thing here? At
I
the...
don't know. It just
Look at this.
Yeah, it's just strange. I saw that at a nursery in Los Angeles. Came home,
Look
thought
how
about
it
it all
curls
night
up.
long, and had to go back the next day to get it. I
So
couldn't
you're
get it off
hooked
my...
on these
Oh, I'm
things.
hooked on plants. Yeah.
Now, you grew up where?
In New York City.
Probably on a street that didn't have a plant anywhere.
Just surrounded by factories. And I hated winters. Other kids were out playing in the snow and having fun. I froze to death. And I used to watch the Tarzan movies with such enthusiasm that I said, someday I'm going to grow up and live in Africa, because I just like the jungle effect. And when I went to Puerto Rico, we got married, and because my father's from Puerto Rico, the same hometown as my wife. And I went there in January for the very first time, and I said, oh, this is incredible, warm and sunny and green foliage everywhere. So we married, came back to New York, and lived for another 5 years in New York. And, but I was always determined to move to someplace warmer. A heliconia, I've waited 7 years for that to do that.
Look at this.
Finally flowered for me.
This is absolutely spectacular.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that
Now,
beautiful?
why did it take 7 years?
I didn't have it in the right location. I had it here, I had it there, tried different, and finally...
Will this grow? Will this do this again next year?
Oh yes, I think so now. I think
This is
finally
so
now.
beautiful. I hate to even leave it.
Now here's a palm leaf that's opening up. This is native to Costa Rica. It's opening up with a maroon colored, a reddish colored leaf.
Ah,
And-
yeah, right over here,
Yes,
Louis.
so if that were open now, it would be beautifully colored.
So palms really have... Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, spiny.
A spiny palm.
Yeah, you
this
don't
is
want to
like
back
a
up into that.
cactus.
Yeah.
What is this called? I've never seen a palm tree with a spine like this. This is very sharp.
Very sharp. These are aphanese palms, and they grow throughout the Caribbean and in South America.
Listen to this.
But very few of them will grow outside in
Ooh.
California. Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to do it the right way.
Well,
Hopefully we
frankly,
can
I've
hear
never,
that.
I've never handled it quite to the extent
Well,
you're
I
doing.
like to touch things when I get there. Now we're coming back out into the
Into the
backyard,
backyard.
and I hate to tell you, Ralph, but I don't think you're going to have a lot more room here to plant anything else.
Well, I just planted out maybe about 10 or 12 new palms this year.
Look what you've done up here.
Right.
You've got a whole little trellis thing going all the way across
with the
here.
air plants. Right. And when I was in Puerto Rico, we were going into the rainforest, and this common bird's nest fern right over here.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, the common bird's nest fern. I saw that growing on a branch over the road, high up in the air. And I said, well, I'm going to try sticking it on the trunk, and it's done beautifully.
Isn't it amazing how adaptable things
Oh.
are?
Well, you have to know where they come from and how they grow.
Yeah.
And then if you can duplicate that same environment, you've got it made.
You know, I don't think, and I certainly didn't know till I started doing a little bit of research on it, I don't think most people realize that palm trees per se are not native to California at all.
Only one.
And they were the ones that were found in the oases.
Right.
All of these palm trees that we see in Los Angeles, San
all
Francisco,
imported.
Santa Barbara,
Right.
none of them are supposed to be there.
Well,
Well, I mean, they look good, but they're not by nature
there are a
supposed
group
to
of
be
people,
there.
This is my feeling. There's a group of people that love native plants. And this is fine and dandy, but I've seen some native plants, and frankly, a lot of them just look like scrub and junky looking plants.
You're going to get the native
And
plant
so I'm
people
going to
mad
get the
at you
native
now.
plant people mad. And then here in Orange County, for some reason, the landscapers for the parks of the cities and the county, for some reason, they thought pine trees and sycamores would be a wonderful kind of tree to put in the parks and along avenues. And I don't want to be reminded of back east. I want it to look tropical.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. I really
so
don't understand.
palm
why.
trees, even though they're not native,
A lot of them do very well here.
they look good here. They look like California.
Well, to me, the palm tree is the image of California.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of the Johnny Appleseed
Right.
of palm trees
I
here
am.
in Southern California.
I am.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Your wife has brought out lemonade for all of us after we get through shooting. Thank you for your hospitality.
You're welcome.
And you have been very patient, not only with us today, but with your husband for the
Yes.
past 37 years in
Yes.
this passion he's developed for palm trees.
Yes.
Thank you for saying passion. She prefers to use obsession, and I like passion better.
Well, we're not going to get into this whole
No, we're
argument
not gonna
here.
get into that.
We'll be with you in just a minute for the lemonade. And thank you again for this wonderful tour. We have just barely actually scraped the surface because there are 2,000 different varieties of palms all over the world.
Right.
You have how many here in Westminster?
In my total collection, which includes small little babies, about 550. But in the ground is about 320.
So you've only got 1,700 more to
That's
go.
right.
All right, and we're kind of ending up in a very California way as well because your son Steve is an accomplished cello player.
Exactly.
And
yes.
so not only do you sit out here in your hammock and dream about being in the tropics, but your son comes out here and
plays there
probably
every once in a
practices
while.
and
Yes,
performs.
he's done that.
So we're going to end our program tonight listening to Steve play for us out here amongst the palms on his cello. This has been an absolutely wonderful day.
Visiting with Huell Howser is made possible through a generous grant from the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation.